Told my toddler to throw away my nephew's $5,000 Rolex after my parents only gave my teen son socks, but it turned out they were joking and had bought him a car. Now my whole family hates me, and I've been living in my own car out of shame. I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids, my son Michael, who's 16, and my daughter Esther, who's 3. I've been raising them mostly on my own since my ex walked out years ago. My parents have always been heavily involved with my sister's family, but when it comes to me and my kids, it's like we're the side characters. They help when it makes them look good, not because they actually care. My sister Tara has 1 son, Fred, who's 13. He's the golden child of the entire family. He gets showered with gifts, praise, and money, while my son basically gets told to be grateful for what you have. I've tried to let it slide over the years, telling myself that maybe I was overreacting, but this Christmas was the breaking point. We did Christmas Eve at my parents' house like we always do. My mom made this big deal about everyone bringing gifts for the kids and said she had something special planned. Michael didn't even want to go, but I convinced him. I shouldn't have. The gift exchange started out fine. Then my parents handed Michael a small box. He opened it, and inside were a pair of socks with Mr. Responsible written on them, and a plain white mug that said, "World's Future Accountant." Everyone laughed. My dad said something about it being fitting since Michael's the boring one. My sister actually snorted into her wine. Michael forced a smile, but I could see it hit him. Then they handed Fred this big wrapped box. He opened it, and inside was a Rolex. My mom said it was for a young man who's going places. Everyone clapped. Tara filmed him like it was some award ceremony. Michael just sat there staring down at his socks. I don't know what came over me. I just felt this wave of anger. It wasn't just about the watch, it was everything. Every year, every snide comment, every time Michael got brushed aside while Fred got treated like royalty, I said something about how unfair it was, and my parents brushed it off like I was being dramatic again. Esther was sitting on my lap at the time. She's at that stage where she wants to help mommy. The Rolex box was sitting near her. In the middle of my rant, I told her, half joking and half angry, to throw that garbage away. I didn't mean it literally, I was just mad, but she actually picked it up and toddled out toward the back door. By the time I realized what she'd done, it was too late. She'd thrown it into one of the outside trash bins. You would have thought someone had been murdered. Tara started screaming. My mom grabbed the sides of her head like she was going to faint. My dad started yelling about how I raised animals. It all turned into chaos. I tried to calm everyone down and explain it was an accident, but no one wanted to listen. They were all screaming over me, calling me ungrateful and jealous. I told them I was sick of their favoritism, sick of watching my son get humiliated every time we're around them. I told them if they want to worship Fred, fine, but leave my kids out of it. Then I picked up my daughter and told Michael we were leaving. My mom called after me saying I'd ruined Christmas. On the drive home, Michael was quiet the whole time. He finally said he'd seen something earlier, a car in the garage with a red bow on it. He said there was an envelope on the hood that said, "To Michael, love Grandma and Grandpa." The socks were supposed to be a joke before they revealed the car. My stomach just dropped. I felt sick. I realized what I'd done, that I'd completely blown up over what was technically a misunderstanding. But at the same time, that prank wasn't funny. They still humiliated my son in front of everyone for a laugh. Even if the car was really for him, it doesn't erase what they did. I keep thinking about that stupid car. It's probably still sitting in there, waiting for a kid who'll never get to drive it. Michael says he doesn't even want it anymore. He told me he's just done. Update 1. It's been about a week since that Christmas disaster, and I still feel like I'm living in a bad dream. I keep replaying it over and over in my head, wondering how everything went so wrong so fast. I've tried to reach out. I really have. I texted my parents that night, told them I was sorry for how I reacted, that I'd misunderstood what they were doing with the gifts. I even offered to replace the Rolex, even though I can't afford anything close to that. They didn't respond. My calls went straight to voicemail. When I tried calling my sister, it said I was blocked. Then a few days later, my mom posted a long, vague Facebook status about how one person's bitterness can destroy a whole family. Tara commented with a broken heart emoji, and suddenly half the extended family was messaging me, asking what I'd done this time. I didn't even answer most of them. I've been through this pattern before. They believe whatever version makes me look crazy, because that's easier than facing how messed up our family really is. The worst part is Michael's been caught in the middle. He tries to act fine, but I can tell he's embarrassed. He keeps saying he doesn't care about the car, that it wasn't about that anyway, but I can see how much it hurt him. My parents always favored Tara's son, Fred. It's always been that way. The private school, the expensive trips, the brag posts online, and when I said anything, I was jealous or too sensitive. I thought maybe this Christmas would be different. I was wrong. Anyway, I found out 2 days ago that my parents are actually suing me. Yes, suing their own daughter. I came home to a knock on the door and a guy in a suit handing me papers, intentional property damage. That's what it says. Apparently, Tara's husband is helping them file it since he's a lawyer. I couldn't even breathe reading it. It felt like some kind of sick joke. I called my mom right after that. No answer. I tried my dad, and he finally picked up just long enough to tell me I brought this on myself. Then he hung up. That's when I realized they weren't going to fix this. They wanted me to suffer for embarrassing them. That same night, Michael showed me something that honestly broke me more than anything else. My dad had texted him. The message said they'd still give him the car if he agreed to stay away from me for a while so things could cool down. He deleted the number right after showing me, said he didn't want them manipulating him. But I saw the look on his face. He wanted that car. It's been a weird few days since then. My job, which was already hanging by a thread, ended this week too. My boss pulled me aside and said she didn't want to take sides in a family situation, and that things look bad. She's friends with my mom through some local charity group, so I can guess where that came from. I didn't even argue. I packed up my stuff and left. I've been staying in my car for the past few nights, trying to figure out what to do. Michael and Esther have been staying with their friends as a way to cool off, but he's not stupid. He knows something's off. I didn't want him seeing me like this, sleeping with the back seat folded down and a blanket over me. It's humiliating, but it's quiet. Then yesterday, I got a text from a friend of my sister's, someone who was at that Christmas gathering. She told me something that made my stomach twist. Apparently, the Rolex wasn't even broken. My toddler had tossed it in a sealed trash bag that was still in the bin outside, and Tara went digging through it later that night. She found it and cleaned it off. The story about it being cracked was a lie. She said she didn't want to tell anyone because she wanted to make me face consequences. So all of this, the lawsuit, the family turning on me, it's built on a lie. I tried telling my parents that when I found out, but they won't even pick up the phone. I think they just want me gone, so they can keep pretending they're some perfect, successful family without the embarrassing daughter who ruined Christmas. I'm trying to scrape together enough to get a cheap motel for a few days. I can't stay like this. Both kids are still staying with friends right now. Update 2. I didn't think I'd ever be able to face that family again after everything, but I guess life doesn't stop just because you want it to. I was mostly trying to keep my head down, focus on finding a new job, and not think about the lawsuit or my parents. But then a cousin reached out, and what she told me changed everything. For context, this cousin works at a jewelry store, not the one where the Rolex supposedly came from, but close enough that she knows the people who handle high-end orders. She told me something didn't add up with the receipt Tara posted online when she was playing the victim after Christmas. Yeah, she actually posted a cropped photo of it on Facebook, like a trophy. My cousin said the layout of the receipt didn't match the ones from that store. Out of curiosity, she asked one of her co-workers to quietly check the serial number Tara had shown off in the post. Turns out, the watch wasn't even bought by my parents. It was bought under Tara's name, using a joint business credit card connected to her husband's company. Not only that, but it wasn't a $5,000 model, it was a replica, a higher-end fake worth maybe $800 on a good day. Tara had used her husband's company card and tried to make it look like my parents had paid for it, so she could keep up her little show of being the golden child. I don't even think my parents knew. They probably thought she was just being generous. It started to make sense then the way Tara went so hard about the damage, how she refused to talk privately and just kept escalating things. She wasn't protecting a gift, she was covering her own mess. If that watch got sent in for repairs or insurance, the whole thing would have blown up. So instead, she made me the villain to distract everyone. I sat on that information for a few days before doing anything with it. Part of me thought maybe I should just let it go. I was already living in my car and hanging by a thread. I didn't want more drama. But then Michael showed me something that made my blood run cold. He'd been getting texts again. This time, not from my dad, but from some random number. It started with, "Your mom's not stable, and you deserve better." Then it got worse stuff like, "You could live somewhere better if you just told the truth about what happened." He blocked it at first, but then one message came through that mentioned things only Tara's husband could know. I checked the number through one of those online lookup sites. It came back registered to his law firm. I couldn't even breathe. They weren't just trying to sue me anymore, they were trying to make my son turn on me so they'd have evidence I was unfit. That's when I decided I wasn't going to hide anymore. I gathered everything: the messages, screenshots of the fake receipt, proof of the serial number, and a few other things I'd saved from when Tara used to brag about her husband's business perks. I sent it all in an email to my parents. I didn't write anything long, just the facts and a note saying I'd had enough of being their scapegoat. Their reply came a day later. One line: "You're sick. Stop dragging everyone down with you." No denial, no defense, just that. Which basically confirmed everything I already knew. They didn't care about the truth. They cared about keeping the story intact. I won't lie, I cried after reading that. Not because it hurt, I think I'm past that part, but because it was so predictable. It's like they'd rather live in a lie than admit Tara's not perfect. They've done it for years. It used to drive me insane trying to understand it, but now it just feels sad. The next day, I told Michael everything. He deserved to know. He didn't even look surprised, just nodded and said it explained a lot. I could see how tired he was of all of it. He told me he was proud of me for fighting back, and that's the only thing that stopped me from completely breaking down. I started looking into getting legal help, even if it's just to protect myself. One of my old friends from work put me in touch with a lawyer who said he could give me some advice for free. He told me the lawsuit would likely fall apart once I submitted proof. The Rolex wasn't real, and that Tara's husband was using company money for personal use. He said if I wanted to, I could even file a counterclaim for harassment and emotional distress. I don't know if I'll go that far, but just hearing that I'm not powerless for once gave me some kind of strength I didn't know I still had. Then something happened that pushed me over the edge. My mom showed up at the gas station where I've been parking my car at night. She didn't say much, just that she heard I'd been digging, and that I should stop before I ruined the family's name. She said Tara was having a hard time and that I was making it worse. I asked her if she even cared that Tara lied about everything. She just said, "We all make mistakes." I think that's the moment something inside me shut off. After she left, I sat there in my car for a long time. It hit me that I'd spent years trying to prove to them that I was worth loving, and all they ever did was move the goalpost. No matter what I did, I was always going to be the problem in their story, so I stopped trying. I called the lawyer the next day and told him I wanted to move forward with whatever I needed to protect me and Michael. I also sent him all the texts from Tara's husband and told him to make sure they were included. I'm not letting them drag my son into this. Update 3. A month has now passed since my previous update, and out of nowhere, I got a text from my mother saying she wanted to have a proper family conversation to make peace. I don't know why, but I actually believed her for a second. I thought maybe they'd finally realized how far this had gone. She said they wanted to meet at my parents' favorite restaurant, and that Tara and her husband would be there too. When I showed up, the tone was off right from the start. My dad barely looked at me. Tara had this smug, swollen-eyed look like she'd been crying, but still wanted everyone to know she was the victim, and her husband had a stack of papers on the table. My stomach sank. It wasn't a dinner, it was an ambush. They said they wanted to end the drama and rebuild trust as a family. Then Tara's husband slid the papers toward me, a settlement agreement. It said they'd give me $10,000 if I agreed to admit responsibility for damaging family property, stop contacting any family members about private matters, and basically promised to shut up about everything. There was also a confidentiality clause that said I couldn't discuss the incident online or with third parties. They even had a line saying I'd accept that the watch was genuine and worth its claimed value. They tried to make it sound like they were being generous, like they were helping me out of pity. I just sat there staring at them, thinking about all the nights I'd slept in my car, the job I'd lost, and the way my son had been dragged through their manipulation. I wasn't going to take their money, not to make their lies disappear. So I told them I wasn't signing anything. And before they could start the usual guilt tripping, I told them I had something of my own. I said I'd already filed a counterclaim for harassment and emotional distress. I said I had proof of the fake Rolex purchase, the texts from Tara's husband to my son, and all the messages they'd sent trying to paint me as unstable. They tried to laugh it off until I pulled out a flash drive and slid it across the table. I told them it had everything: receipts, screenshots, call logs. The look on Tara's husband's face was worth more than 10 grand. He went pale. My dad looked stunned. Tara started crying, saying I was trying to ruin her life. I said she did that herself the second she used her kid and mine to play her fake rich games. They left in a hurry. My mom stayed behind for a bit, trying to tell me that I'd regret this, that family doesn't sue family. I told her that family doesn't sue single mothers for trashing a fake watch either. Then I left before I could say something I'd regret. A week later, I got a call from my cousin, the one who helped me verify the Rolex. She told me the lawsuit had quietly disappeared. Just like that, no explanation, no apology, nothing. I wasn't surprised. They probably realized if they kept pushing, their own secrets would come out. But the story didn't stay buried. Somehow, word got around in the extended family about what really happened. I didn't tell anyone directly, but I know how gossip travels. Within a few days, I started getting messages from relatives I hadn't talked to in years. Some were furious, saying I'd embarrassed everyone. Others said they were sorry for believing Tara's side. Apparently, a few cousins had already suspected something was off Tara, and her husband had borrowed money from a few family members for business expenses and hadn't paid them back. The cracks started showing fast. My parents stopped posting family photos with Tara's family. A few mutual friends told me my mom was complaining that everything had fallen apart and that I'd brought shame to everyone. I don't think they even care about the truth, just the fact that their perfect image is gone. 2 weeks later, my mom showed up at the motel where I was staying. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. She was crying and said Tara's husband had left her after I ruined their reputation and that Tara was having a breakdown. She said Tara's been seeing a therapist, can't leave the house, and is talking about moving away because everyone knows. For a second, I felt bad. Tara may be a liar, but she's still my sister. But then my mom said something that snapped me right back. She said I needed to help fix this by taking the blame publicly. She said Fred, my nephew, was being teased at school because of what his mom did, and the only way to make things better was for me to say the misunderstanding was all my fault. She even said they'd consider forgiving me if I did it. I laughed in her face. I told her she could leave the same way she came in. I wasn't taking the blame for anything, not after all the things they did to me and my son. A few days later, my aunt sent me a message saying she'd overheard my parents talking about changing their will. Apparently, they're leaving everything to Tara and her family now. I guess it's their final punishment. But honestly, I didn't even care. I have nothing of theirs that I want. They can keep their money, their house, and their lies. Final update. I feel like I need to close this out properly. After the last update, when my mom showed up crying and tried to convince me to take the blame for Tara's mess, I meant it. When I said I was done, I packed what little I had left in storage, got a small job 2 towns over, and started rebuilding. It wasn't glamorous. I was working nights at a local grocery store and sharing a 1-bedroom with my kids, but it was quiet. No one was judging us. No one was talking about what happened on Christmas, and I could finally breathe. Michael started community college not long after. He's been saving to transfer next year. He got a part-time job at an auto shop and loves it. My daughter's in daycare now. She's talking up a storm and still throws random things in the trash, but at least now it's just old toys, not luxury watches. Then last month, out of nowhere, I got an email from Tara. The subject line just said, "I owe you the truth." It was long. She said she's divorced now. Her husband left her after the lawsuit fell apart and took their joint savings. She admitted the Rolex was fake, admitted she used the company card, admitted she'd lied about me breaking it. She said she wanted to humiliate me because she'd always been jealous of how close I was with my son, unlike her and her son, and how I managed without help. She even said mom and dad encouraged it, that they always compared us behind my back, told her she had to set an example because she was the successful one. She said she's in therapy now and wanted to make amends. I didn't reply. Not because I hate her, but because I don't owe her that. I've spent my whole life trying to get closure from people who think saying sorry fixes everything. It doesn't. A week after that email, I heard from my cousin again, the same one who told me about the fake Rolex. Apparently, my parents lost their house. They put up part of their savings to help Tara with her divorce and the business fallout, and then dad had a mild stroke. He's recovering, but mom's been calling everyone asking for help. No one's rushing to answer. They burned too many bridges trying to keep up appearances. Tara's apparently living with my aunt now. My cousin said she's still not working, just trying to get her life back together. I hope she does, honestly, not because she deserves it, but because I'm tired of carrying the bitterness. If she ever really changes, good for her. But I'm not going to sit around waiting to find out. There's still a part of me that feels embarrassed when I think about how everything started over a stupid watch. But looking back, the Rolex was never the real issue. It was years of favoritism, of being the scapegoat, of watching my son get treated like he was less. The watch just made it all impossible to ignore.